Welcome to Introduction to Thai Massage for the Table. Before beginning, I want to acknowledge that Thai massage classically is done on a mat on the floor, fully clothed. However, for many Western practitioners, having the ability to bring some of the lovely techniques of Thai massage up to their table practice is a real gift. So today what I'd like to share with you is some of the lovely traditions that can either be individual techniques that can expand your Western massage practice, or an entire basic flow that you can do on a table to introduce someone to the joy of Thai massage. Let's begin. All right. So before you begin, first get centered and grounded. Warm your hands. And gently connect with the energy body of your client before you touch their physical one. I like to begin with a gentle rocking from side to side, using my body weight and straight arms to help deliver the pressure and begin to warm the body. The next part of the sequence is what I call the elephant walk sequence. I'll begin by using the side of my hands along the fleshy part of the calf, where it falls along the bone, navigating up towards the kneecaps. Grasping the kneecaps with some broad outward circles. It's at the kneecaps I find is a perfect opportunity to gently kneel up and bring the body up to the table. And then, like a Thai elephant gently strolling through the jungle, I bring my touch broadly to the thighs, rocking from side to side, working up towards the groin, and then beginning to navigate back down. Palms circling at the knees, and then pressing along the calves. You're welcome to do this sequence 2 to 3 times in a session. It really helps to ground the client. Now we're going to move actually to the feet. I'm going to begin by thumb pressing with the fleshy part of your thumb along 6 points along the bottom of the foot, working down and then out, rotating in a series of anywhere from 2 to 3 circles. I will do 2 circles for this sequence. Being mindful to stay connected with your breath and your client's breath, using your rock to help deliver the pressure. Next part of the sequence is to work the 5 energy lines on the bottom of the foot, emanating from the heel, navigating out towards each of the toes, and once we reach the toes, with a little thumb circle and pinch at the tip. Moving to the second toe, navigating out, still allowing my rock to help to deliver that pressure. It can be a really grounding way for your client to connect and drop in with their body. Circling and squeezing the tip. After we finish the fan lines on the bottom of the foot, we're going to begin the fan lines on the top of the foot, which emanate from a little divot you're welcome to either do 1 foot at a time or both feet at a time. And we're going to thumb circle on the top of the foot because it's more of a bony surface. And when we reach to the toes, we'll do a gentle traction and toe pull, emanating from the ankle, working out towards the toes, and toe pull. And if you take a look, really I'm using my whole body to help with the traction. For the next part of the sequence, I'm going to choose to work 1 foot at a time. Lifting 1 foot up close to my hara, I'm going to take the heel of my hand and place it on the ball of the client's foot. And then using my body, I'm going to help to do some nice ankle rotations. And even though it just seems like I'm working on the foot, this is having full ramifications along her whole body. Okay. Once I've done the ankle rotations, I'm going to wrap my hand around the foot. I'm going to wring it out, almost like wringing out a washcloth while tractioning. And then I'll switch gripping hands, wrap, and traction. Do the same thing on the other foot, because as we all know, more practice and repetition helps us to become more perfect. So heel of the hand along the ball of the foot, using my body to help give some nice ankle rotations in both directions. Wrapping, tractioning. And these lovely rocks are really beneficial for myself. Help me to drop into a meditative place. Bringing the heel down, opening the feet. Then with the fleshy part of my thumbs, I'm going to work 6 points. Working from the heel towards the toe along the arch of the foot. Working up towards the toes. And navigating back down. And bringing the client's legs together, tucking their heel in towards their bum. I'm going to then lengthen the top of the feet. Couple options for holding your hands. One is having the fingers forward. Others is to have the fingers facing you as a therapist. Either's quite good. And then I'm going to tug the client's heels towards me, place the heel of my hand along the ball of their foot with their toes facing up towards the ceiling. I'm going to press as far as their body lets me. Then I'm going to curl their toes up. You may actually have to come up on your tippy toes depending on the table height. This helps to open up the energy lines on the bottom and the fascia. And we'll end by opening the legs a little bit, rocking 1 foot down, then bringing the other foot on top of it. Rocking 2 to 3 times. And then switching. The next part of the sequence is to be working the energy lines on the outside and the inside of the legs. I'm going to show you 2 versions. One, a more conservative version where we would actually be staying on the ground, and a second version where you would actually get up on the table. I'll begin with the more conservative version. So I'm going to rotate the client's leg inward, and the divot in the middle of my hand is going to fit perfectly along their ankle. Upper hand is going to anchor at the hip, and I will lengthen. Then I'm going to bring the upper hand to join the lower one and palm. Now for this video, we're going to simply do some palming, broad palming of the energy lines. In more advanced programs, specific energy line work is covered, but for this introductory level, I think simple palming is perfect. You may be noticing that my arms are straight and that my body's rocking to help to deliver that pressure. So at one of the schools I learned at Thailand, they used to say you said goodbye like you said hello, with the lengthening. More conservative version for working the inside energy lines is to stay on the ground. Have one hand come at the ingroinal crease, rotating the leg out. Lower hand, the divot of your palm, right at the ankle, lengthening. And then palming. The first pass of palming helps you to broadly cover energy lines 1 and 2. If you gently rotate out your client, that'll allow you to drop down lower so that you can palm or thumb energy line 3, which more falls along the underside of the thigh. And I'll support the knee while I straighten and say goodbye like you said hello, with the lengthening. Now, if you have a client that you're more comfortable with, another way of working the inside lines that may be a little bit more comfortable for you as a therapist is to gently come on up and sit, having behind their knee supported with one leg and the other one just falling gently on the table. The upper hand can either come to the ingroinal crease, or you're also welcome to softly use the side of your elbow and lengthen and palm. Or you can also, once you feel masterful with working with your forearm, you can also rock and use your forearm as a way of addressing the inner thigh energy lines. Welcome to rotate out and drop a little deeper for working that third line. And then saying goodbye like you said hello, with the lengthening. Now in your own practice, you're going to want to make sure you palm and warm those energy lines thoroughly on both legs. But for time sequencing right now, I'd like to begin what's called the single leg exercise flow. On one of the legs, I'm going to use it getting up and down off the table. So if you're working with clients who are comfortable with you getting up and down off the table, this is probably the most ideal position. On the other leg, I'm going to give you some modifications that you can actually do it while standing on the ground. So if you're working with a more conservative client or someone that just doesn't feel comfortable with you getting up on the table, the second leg may be a better option for you. So I'll begin by gently rotating out the client's leg, putting them in a position similar to tree pose in yoga. And I will gently come up to the table. And I'll begin to warm the body with the outward rotation with some gentle palming. You can do 2 to 3 rounds of palming in your own practice to help warm them if you wish. And as you begin your descent down, you're going to gently open the client's leg. Bring your bottom to the table and swing your legs forward. Bringing the outside foot, your outside foot, behind the client's knee. You'll straighten your leg and then traction their leg into you. Disengage traction, slide a bit. So it's a little bit of a push-pull. Working to mid-thigh, and navigating back behind the knee. And then I scoop their foot over my shin, and I've basically created a little bit of a machine that I can cup. And now my foot that was resting now works. The middle thigh towards the groin and navigates back. I will unscoop, and then like a kitty cat pawing, I will do a little bit of walking to spread out that energy. Afterwards, I will guide their upper leg and lower leg to come together. Then I will stand for a moment and get up close, bringing the side of my hip to anchor their legs together. Then I'll reach up and over and do a nice thigh and hip opening. I can do a little chopping or cupping to smooth that energy. And then bring their leg up to triangle position. Periodically, I might like to warm up their hip a little bit by walking across the center line. And as I do that, I find it's a perfect opportunity for me to gracefully transition back up to the table, bringing the client's leg between my thighs. And now I can continue with the single leg exercise flow. Next part being interlocking my fingers and doing the nutcracker sequence. Now you're welcome to either just rock back and forth, or periodically, if you have a client whose leg likes to rotate out, you can also support with your sternum. After doing the nutcracker sequence, up and down a couple times, maybe 2 to 3 times, you're welcome to do the ice pick. That does a little bit more specific work on the energy lines. Palm circling to spread that energy. And then coming to the underside of the client's thigh, you can either do a butterfly pressing or flat knuckle pressing, depending on the flexibility of your own wrists. I'll demonstrate both. This is the butterfly. And I'll transition to the flat knuckle, working all the way to the sits bones, and then coming back to where the knee is. Afterwards, continuing with thumb on thumb pressure along the energy line that runs along the back of the thigh. It's a wonderful line to work for people who have lower back issues. You're welcome to do several passes on that energy line. And when it feels complete, some palm circles will help to transition and spread the energy. Next part of the sequence, to interlock the fingers, squeeze the muscle away from the bone, and traction. This is a lovely way to treat the energy lines of the calf, but also get some great opening in the lower back and hip. And for me as a therapist, it's a lovely opening for my upper back. Continuing the single leg flow, I'm going to take my outside hand and press the knee up towards the client's body.